Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. Your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Email me directly for pricing, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. Today, we're discussing a 41mm stainless steel Omega de Ville Hour Vision. This is a later refinement of the Hour Vision design that first bowed in 2007. In stainless steel at 41mm in diameter, it measures a reasonable 12.8mm thick, and from lug tip to lug tip, 49.4mm, with a total distance across the wrist of 51.5mm and a 20mm spacing between the lugs. Throwing the watch on my wrist, which is 16 centimeters in circumference, you get a good sense of the size and the fit. It is low enough to fit underneath the cuff, and this has to be considered one of the thinnest modern Omega watches, especially where dress watches are concerned. Being able to slide the watch under a cuff is important, and most Omega watches simply don't have that quality. This one does, and it's aided and abetted by a nicely sloped bezel and cambered sapphire. I would recommend this watch for a wrist as small as 15 centimeters circumference, and you can see that it features a handsome and unique bracelet. This is unlike any of the Speedmaster and Seamaster bracelets. It's really quite ornate. It has the solidity of a sports watch bracelet, but you can see with the many polished intermediates, and it is a broad multi-link design. It really does have the look of a sheet of chainmail. It's somewhere between a conventional bracelet and a mesh bracelet. It has a wonderful look and a feel on the wrist. You can see we have removable links fixed by screws. We have a little intermediate sized link on each side to help with the fine sizing, and then a double deployant clasp, which has twin trigger release, sequential close, so one side closes before the other. You can see there's a true rose gold Omega logo there. Twin trigger release means you have to press the triggers to pop it open. This watch does have some sporting elements, including the double deployant trigger actuated clasp, all steel construction, automatic winding, and 100-meter water resistance. This is a more conservative take on the Hour Vision design. It's the same size and shape as the original, but the sapphire view ports in the case flanks, as well as between the lugs, are now gone. We have a simple profile of vertical satination, which is uncommon on Omega watches, and then the lug hoods, as well as the bezel. The lug hoods and the bezel are all polished. Taking a quick look, you can see that the lugs themselves actually arc up over the edge of the bezel, and they only end on the flange abutting the sapphire. So they have a remarkable extended character that gives them a sculptural grace and beauty, almost like a suspension bridge. Now, the bezel is domed. As you can see, it's almost discontinuous because of the lugs. We have a knurled Omega branded crown, and we have a sunburst dial, and actually it's two different grains. We have a sunburst grain at center, which means that there's a brushed pattern that radiates out from under the hands, but then we have a concentric circular brushed profile on the downwardly stepped hour track. We have at center fluted baton-style hands and a counterweighted lancet-style seconds hand. We also have applied Roman numerals, which are beautifully bright with rhodium coating, and we have an applied Omega logo. You can also see that we use a watchmaker's 4 down at 4 o'clock. There are two subsidiary setting modes. One of them is a time zone function that allows you to move the hour hand forward or backwards, so you can change your time even as the seconds hand and the minute hand are neither stopped nor displaced. Now, if you pull the crown out all the way, now you activate hacking or stop seconds, and if you wish, you can set the watch to the second against a reference time. We'll pop open the clasp. I should also mention that the bracelet itself is wonderfully silky, very comfortable. And what often happens when we put these price tags on is that they get in the way of the clasp. Not a problem. But then we have a movement underneath that is the upgraded version of 2007's caliber 8500. So the 8500 debuted on the Hour Visions, and the 8900 is the METAS certified master chronometer version of this. You can see on the dial, it is signed master chronometer, not chronometer, not master co-axial, but master chronometer, which means it's been through the full battery of tests co-devised by Omega and the Swiss Federal Institute of Metrology, including 6-position chronometry as a fully cased-up watch, power reserve, winding efficiency, water resistance, shock resistance, and anti-magnetism. Master Chronometer is a full test of the assembled watch, and of course it uses the guidelines established by the COSC, so Master Chronometer testing entails running to that standard or better, plus all of the durability facets. Now the movement, as you can see, is a rotor wind automatic. It has 2 mainspring barrels, which makes for a nice even torque release from max wind to minimum wind, so you don't lose a huge amount of balance amplitude after the first 24 or 36 hours, but you also get 60 hours of power reserve. It's a 39 joule movement. It has shock resistance, courtesy of a full balance bridge and a free-sprung balance, and its anti-magnetic qualities, aided by an anti-magnetic escapement and a silicon hairspring, render it immune to forces in excess of 15,000 Gauss, or I should say flux densities of over 15,000 Gauss. So it is effectively an amagnetic watch. Beats away at 25,200 vibrations per hour, which is a beat rate for Swatch Group watches that use silicon hairsprings. And you can see just below the balance on a separate bridge, there is the coaxial escapement system. This is the tri-level coaxial. It is a direct and indirect impulse tangential contact low friction escapement, originally devised by George Daniels of England and industrialized by Omega. The latest tri-level version achieves precision, extended power reserve, and reduced maintenance requirements. So it is truthfully a major innovation and probably the most sophisticated escapement design you can obtain for under $50,000. So there is a lot to love with this watch and this movement. So reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details of this Omega DeVille Hour Vision Master Chronometer.